Welcome back, Lelanders, to a new episode of Clone Evolution. Hey, Steadfast, welcome back to the chat. Alright, so what do we got for today's episode? I think we got 2 new dungeon episodes, or floors, in order to complete. Yes, we do. And I figured out some more to do with that new hangar. And I got some news about my place up north as well, too. Surprisingly, just got a message back about it today. So we'll try to cover all that. I think maybe we'll start with the aerospace. Now let's do these. So how's everyone else doing in the chat? Good, I hope. Now today it was like boiling hot outside. So I'm back to wearing like summer shirts again and cleaning outside, doing lots of yard work, and even in shorts. So it's really nice. It's kind of a nice change because, yeah, this has been a slow start to spring. Which I shouldn't complain. One half of the country actually got, a huge snowstorm today, so I should be happy that I'm not buried in snow. Now, we got a lot of spring cleaning done today. I was surprised. Actually, more than we usually do all spring, so it was good. I got some bad news with disc golf. I went to buy my membership to go play at the university this week, and they do not have passes for sale anymore. So I don't know if this means that the course is free now, or they just canceled it. I don't know what happened. So I messaged the university. I'm waiting to hear back about that. Holy shit, 3 likes already. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. So I was thinking that it's probably a godsend in a way because I'm trying to get as much done as I can before the weather gets nice, and I really shouldn't be wasting time disc golfing. Maybe if I play once a week, but if I get a membership for a disc golf course, I'm probably going to be tempted to start playing every day until my shoulder hurts so bad I can't even move it. So it's probably for the better. Alright, so let's play this battle first. I'm going to crack a beer. I haven't really been drinking at all this month. I think the last beer I had was last stream we did, so crack another. Now, when I was doing a bit of the spring cleaning today, came across a really nice beer glass that was in storage. I'm not using it right now because I have to clean it first, but man, almost as nice as the one I'm using now. The only thing is that the beer glass I found in storage is an antique and only holds half of the amount. So I don't get it. Maybe beers used to be smaller. That could be it. Oh shit, too much foam. Man, that was like a full glass of foam. If anyone's seen I was worried that the beer was flat, and it's like, no, it's definitely not flat. No, what I did is I started contacting like every building company contractor I could find to see if anyone would help build the garage and to try to get a few estimates. And I figured I'm going to be lucky if I even get one estimate, but yeah, so far so good. We heard back from one of the contractors today, and they're based out of Kirkland Lake. And they said they would look into it. So that's pretty sweet. I'm a little bit worried about how much they'll charge, but who knows? Maybe this garage plan will actually pull off this year. That'd be fucked up if it did. In a good way. Boom. Holy shit. Oh, I thought that was the big one. No, here's the boss. Oh, did I ever get some crazy bad news, too? I kind of had a feeling this bad news was coming. Let's start with the big chest. All right, got our hands on a big chest. It's not as great as it sounded. We only got 5 bottle cap openers, but it's still okay. Little bit underwhelming. That's what she said. Alright, let's see. Oh yeah, that's a shit hero. All right. So yeah, the shitty bad news that I knew that was coming, which you could probably tell that I already made my mind up. It was I was either thinking about buying a cheap condo in Cancun or fixing my garage up north. So everyone's probably realized that, yeah, it seems like I already chose what I'm going to do and fix the garage up north, hopefully, if I even can. So yeah, guess what happened? The government of Canada stepped in to fight the fucking airport company, Flair Airlines, that's doing the cheap flights. And they said they're going to shut them down with regulations. I was like, oh my God, you got to be fucking kidding me. So now everyone on Facebook, where a lot of people are losing their money for their flight tickets because they can't get refunds, and the company is trying to fight the government. So that's what I was thinking. Like, lucky I didn't buy a condo in Cancun. All of a sudden, the government could just step in and stop you from being able to even fly there. So I was like, those sons of bitches, man, you can never trust the Canadian government. So that's why I was like, you know what? I'm probably just going to fix the garage up north because at least I can get there. Not that I just jinxed it. No, there's another big wave of cases. It's weird. Everyone I talk to, like my neighbors, my friends, my family, pretty much everyone has the virus this week. And luckily, it's been super mild for everyone that I've heard so far. So yeah, that's lucky. Actually, the only case I heard was another friend of mine got really sick, and it turned out not to be the virus. So I was like, that was weird, eh? Can you imagine getting really sick and feeling like, oh, this is a horrible sickness? And you go to get tested, and it's not even the virus? Unless they just tested him wrong, which could be likely. For how bad he said the virus was, I was like, shit, man, sounds like you actually have it. Yeah, so I don't know if anyone else's region is going through that, but yeah, it's weird. Like, everyone has the virus this week. And I think most cases are not getting reported to the officials because everyone has the at-home test kits. And when you test positive, you usually don't even tell anyone, other than people that ask you to come over, and you're like, you know what, can't come over, I tested positive or whatever. Hey, Gusto, how's it going? Holy shit, Steadfast says she's taking another test tonight. That's the thing, I got sick there and I was going to take the test, but by the time I actually got the test, I was already better. So I was like, fuck, should I waste the test and do it when I'm already better? So I just isolated for a week and didn't bother testing. But I do have the test kit, so if I get sick again, I'm going to actually test this time. Now, that's what you got to do, right? It's better to go and pick up the test kits first. So that way, if you get sick, you already have them. So you can do the test quicker. I think, not to offer medical advice, but I think that's how I would do it. Well, I am doing it now. Holy shit. Steadfast said she's taking what every day. Wow, that's impressive. Well, it's good in a way. Like, you know, I heard this one YouTuber, I can't even really repeat what he said. He said instead of getting the test, he recommends just going to exercise. I was like, I get it, the exercise is good, and you should probably be doing that a lot too, but it's probably better to do both, right? Like, actually test and exercise, not just do one or the other. No, it's always nice to hear when people are on top of things, right? Because, yeah, it's like some people are just a little bit too lenient. You don't want things to spread like crazy. Who knows, man? If you're in the Amish community, they let it spread on purpose, but that was a pretty risky move, I think. Then again, the Amish are having like 12 kids, right? So it's like half of them die, and they're like, oh, time to make another 6 kids. It's not that bad of a system when you think about it. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, today on the vape menu, I'm doing a bit of my vapor oil. Shit, man, this stuff hits the spot. I think I might actually bring some of my vapor oil up north, so if anyone I meet up with wants to try it, I think my buddy Charles, I can't remember if I got him to try it yet. I don't know, he had some medical issues, so I don't even know if he still smokes weed. I'll find out when I get there, I guess. Yeah, so as much as I was down in the dumps about the whole Mexico flights getting canceled or possibly being canceled by the government, the fucking train, man, it's looking better and better every day. I even messaged the ministry. I'm like, you know what? Can we get a bus that goes from swastika or however people say it. We'll call it Kirkland Lake for interest's sake. I messaged the ministry. I'm like, can we get a bus from Kirkland Lake that goes all the way to Quebec? What is that town called? Ryan Aranda. And they haven't responded back yet, which makes me wonder they're actually considering it. No, and I was thinking what I'm going to do is probably petition for them to do the bus and maybe try to get a whole bunch of other people to petition it as well. Because it doesn't really seem to make sense. The entire corridor is complete except for there. So why would they not have a bus connecting that one part? Hey, Fatty Kuka, welcome back. Yeah, see, more and more people are testing positive, even up north, right? That's what I figured, right? I don't know, not to make fun of the virus or anything, but it really does seem like, I don't know how many waves are going through and we don't even notice. It's really kind of weird, right? Unless, oh yeah, that was the other craziest thing. I don't know if anyone else watched the news for Canada today. They had two doctors, like one was like a virologist and one was like another like regular doctor or something. And both of them were talking about the pandemic and both of them broke out into laughter, like hysterical laughter. I was like, well, what the fuck, right? Like, why are the doctors going on TV talking about how bad the pandemic is and then breaking out into a fit of laughter? I know that's something I would do. It's just not right. So I was like, even the one clip, they had to cut away from the doctor laughing. He was like, yeah, our hospitals, they could overflow. Then he's like, ah. It was so hysterical, I could barely contain myself. I was like, why are the doctors laughing? Even they can't contain it anymore either. It just sounds ridiculous at this point, but no, you gotta, I guess, err on the side of caution, right? Dear God, could have been a lot worse. We're lucky. Now I'm starting to get a little bit freaked out, like the government's already putting some of the new mandates or the old mandates back in again. I was like, holy fuck, man, I'm gonna buy these bus tickets and get ready to go up north, and then all of a sudden they're gonna cancel it on me. But at least I got a few backup plans. I looked through a couple different rideshare programs. There's more than just, what do they call it, Uber and that stuff. There's actually like another Uber, but they do city to city travel. So I'm probably going to get a ride with some of these people if the bus and everything falls through. And I'm going to try to plan the trip so that I can arrive a week or two before, I think, when construction's ready to start in my garage, so I can prep the work site. A few of my friends said they would help with the project, so I might actually take them up on their offer and do some of the demolition. But I might just talk to the builders, because if they throw in the demolition for free, then I might as well get them to do it. But I doubt anyone's going to throw anything in for free. Now, I think it's the right route to go. Really, I could just fix up the old garage, but it doesn't make sense. If I'm going to build a new garage, I might as well build it brand new from scratch. It'll be pricey, but at least then the resale value will be much higher. if I ever did need to sell. And God knows if anyone will even build it. Yeah, I forget the name of the company. They sent me an email the other day. It's similar to rideshare, but let's see if I got it here. Oh, here's the building company from Kirkland Lake. It's called... Fuck. Cremian Enterprise? Or something like that. Crema? So anyways, they're supposed to get back to me. They're on Industrial Drive. I think it might be a company that's just way too big and they won't even build garages because they build like factories or something, but who knows. So far they said they would get back to me, so that's nice. I got a folder I called registrations, and usually I put my shit in there. Oh, there it is. Sadly I didn't save it. Oh well. Oh, maybe I saved it up here. Let's go under travel. Yeah, can you imagine if that's what would have happened? I could have swore that would probably happen. That would buy the condo in Mexico. The government would block the travel and I'd be fucked. And not in a good way. I kind of had a feeling. I was like, man, the way things have gone lately, if I bought a really nice place like that, it's just asking for trouble. No, for some reason I didn't save the... Oh, maybe I saved it in there. Ah, here it is. Oh, here it is. It's called Poweride? Or no, Pauperide. Poweride. That sounds like you're taking a ride downtown with the police. The Pauperide. Yeah, it's a discount service. All you have to do is commit a crime and you can go for free. They'll take you right downtown. I shouldn't joke, man. I'm gonna end up in jail. All right, so let's see. Yeah, it's called Pauperide or something, and yeah, they got really cheap carpooling trips, and they do a rating system too, so you can see if anyone thinks the person's a murderer yet. Like, so far so good. He hasn't killed anyone. I shouldn't joke, man. When you're taking these weird carpooling things, especially if you're a woman, you don't want to joke around. Like, I even know some of my guy friends almost got, like, raped and murdered trying to hitchhike, so... Yeah, I would be careful no matter what your gender is. No, my one friend was hitchhiking. I forget where he was hitchhiking. I think he said, like, really in the boonies in, like, Newfoundland or Nova Scotia or something. Yeah, and he got a ride, and a guy picked him up. So he's, like, talking to the guy, and... They had a blast. They were like so nice to each other and like great conversation. But then all of a sudden the conversation took a bad turn. No, what happened was my friend seen his turn go by on the highway. And he's like, hey man, you missed my turn. It's back that way. You said you were going to drop me off, right? So then, sadly enough, the old guy that was driving, he says, sorry, young man. He's like, I really like you. He's like, I'm taking you back to my house, whether you like it or not. So my friend is like, he's a big guy, and he's kind of surprised that the old man is like being this forward, that he's going to like rape him or whatever. So my friend actually just took his knife because he was anticipating he might get mugged even if he was just hitchhiking in the middle of nowhere. So he takes out this like giant butcher knife or hunting knife or something. So then the old man sees the knife and just pulls over and opens the door and let him out, luckily. So I was thinking he was really lucky the old man didn't have a gun or something, right? That could have gone a lot worse. And then my friend was so scared too that he didn't even realize he should have wrote the guy's license plate down so he could tell the cops what happened. But he forgot, and then the old man just drove away. So not that you should carry a knife, but dear God, man, he was lucky he had a knife that day. Could have been a lot worse. That's why when I'm actually out on the road, I usually don't hitchhike, especially if I'm alone. I made one exception when a Pepsi truck driver pulled over. I had a feeling that I was in a rough situation. I needed his help, so I was like, you know what? Someone's going to pull over and offer me a ride. I'm taking it. And luckily that saved my life. Narrowly avoided getting eaten by a bear. Now, if anyone's wondering why on my camping trips I don't bring food, I've had so many close calls with bears already that, yeah, I just don't like carrying food. Not that I'm cheap and I'm not trying to lose weight that bad. No, usually what I'll do is bring a little bit of snacks, but nothing that really smells super strong. I definitely don't cook like a giant meal on the fire out in the middle of the woods. Alright, so what do we got for clone evolution? Let's do a few skips. I can't even remember where we're at. Yeah, I think the hitchhiking's probably more dangerous than the bears. To be fair, I've been out in the woods quite a bit, and so far I've only seen a bear from a car. I was thinking the first time I ever see a bear alone in the woods is probably going to get my heart racing. Because I'll be like, oh shit, it's on. Nah, I shouldn't joke because, yeah, bears can get big, right? Like 600 pounds. I know I like to joke because I'm a big guy and all, but I understand that if a bear attacked, I'm definitely out of my league. No, but people say really you gotta be more careful with the moose up north than you really do the bears, because the moose has a much higher ratio of killing people. Alright, we got 3 victories. Now I'm starting to almost get a little bit nervous about traveling because, man, I haven't been on the road in so long. That's what I was thinking. If I actually get my garage fixed up north, it'll give me a sense of security when I go on road trips, where I could go on a long road trip and still have like a home base to go to. That'll be sweet. I don't want to get my hopes up, man, but if I can finish it. Now, I appreciate everyone watching the YouTube commercials on my channel too. They're back to paying me again, so making like anywhere between 30 and 50 bucks a month. Doesn't sound like a lot, but it does help cover some of my internet bills. Let's see. Which team should we go? Let's take her or him out and put him in. And him with him. There we go. Oh, I spent the last couple of days like researching all the different spots I want to stop on my trips up north. I forgot how many fun locations there are. So I was thinking, if all went smoothly, what I would do is take a bus up, do the trip where we build the garage, and then after it's finished, take the bus back, and then do another road trip up, this time with my brother. I don't know which vehicle he would bring, but yeah, he's got a couple different vehicles. We probably could do a run with furniture. Because fuck man, if I could bring up a bed and a couple tables and couches, that'd be sick. Then I'd have my garage furnished. And really that's what I need to do, is bail out some of my furniture here that used to be in my apartment so that I can put it in the garage. So that way when I go to minimize all my stuff here, that way my family can rent out all the space I'm using. I won't need all the space to store furniture and shit. I know it's risky to put stuff in a garage up north because it can get robbed pretty easily. So I'll have to go to extra precautions. Bars on the windows and that sort of shit. I know it'll suck to see bars on the windows, but it's better than getting robbed. You know what I should do is do those shutters. So you can lock the shutters when you leave. Fuck it, man. I hate it when it feels like you get a hair stuck. I don't even have hair. Yeah, I noticed this combination when I put the bearded guy actually gave us a chance at winning. Not that time. All right, we got up to 90. Getting close to another victory. All right, so what was the other good news we got? I think we got another one of the clones all set. No, not there. Oh yeah, we got one of these, one of these. Let's see what other ones we got. Oh yeah, and we got the bounty hunter mission. I forgot, we gotta do those. See if there's anything worth doing. They might have gave us all garbage. Yeah, they did. They gave us all trash. So we're just going to save it. I know people are shocked that I'm not doing the missions this time, but I want to save them up. I'm sick of failing halfway each time. So we're going to save it up, and next time we come back, we'll do it even better. So we're not doing the bounty. We're doing these enough just to collect the extra thing, but we're not using them. Well, we'll use one. Alright, so we did those. I noticed the aerospace, if you click space, excuse me, now you can do these battles. So let's do some of these, see if we can make it to the boss. Oh yeah, should tear him a new one. You notice how the words are in Chinese for the bottom? So if there's any Chinese or Mandarin speakers that can translate that, that'd be great. Yeah, bars on the windows seems extreme, but to be fair, like when I was up north, I've had bad luck with getting robbed all the time. So I'd probably just play it safe and go bars on the windows. I know it sounds ridiculous, but who knows? You know what's probably going to happen? I'm going to talk to the guy who's like living in my garage. What is it called? The stowaway. And ask him if he knows what happened to my garage, if he was the one who took the boat out. Because who knows, maybe he just moved the boat somewhere and it didn't actually get stolen. That'd be sweet. Oh, you can only fight 3 times? Well, that's weird. Does anyone know what to do? That's fucked. Base. Return voyage. Okay, that was weird. No, what happened was, is my original place that I bought up north, it only had water access. So I was like, oh, water access doesn't sound so bad. I'll just buy a canoe. And every time I want to go to the place, I'll boat in and out. So obviously that was kind of a dumb plan. I should have came and checked the river first to make sure it was even possible. So yeah, when I came to do that, I found out that the river was actually really rough a lot of times and it wasn't really safe to boat in and out. So I ended up just selling the property, and then when I got the new place, I had the boat left. So I'm like, oh, what? I'll just throw it in my garage. And I didn't lock the garage because I was like, you know what? I put a boat in a garage in the middle of nowhere up north. It should be okay. I came back like a week or two later and it was already stolen. I was like, what the fuck? I just left it here. But nothing else was gone from the garage. So I was thinking maybe it didn't get stolen. Someone just moved it. I don't know. I'll have to ask the guy. Maybe he's seen it. It wasn't really that nice of a canoe. It was maybe like a $200 canoe, but still it was kind of annoying. Not the end of the world to lose a boat, though. Could have been a lot worse. We actually almost died using the boat, so that was not actually the worst of it. No, luckily we had someone else there who offered some good advice, and we didn't take my advice. And it saved everyone's lives. No, what happened was I was like, hey, let's just boat in, even though there was some ice on the river. And then there was another guy there. He's like, you know what? That ice is still way too dangerous. We shouldn't go in the river. And I'm like, all right, let's follow your advice. And then all of a sudden the ice broke up and it all got washed under a bridge. And yeah, we would all died if we were in the river. So that was a close call. So now I just go with properties that are land only. No more river adventures for me. Almost dying once was enough. But man, we should have got footage of the ice breaking up on the river. It was intense. It looked like icebergs the size of school buses, and they just rushed through the rapids and then all went under a giant sheet of ice when it went by a bridge. So yeah, we would have been crushed and dragged under the ice for sure. Yeah, sometimes when you have a good idea, it doesn't really work out that way. So luckily we didn't try that good idea. Dungeon. Now I try to be a lot more safe on my trips now, so when people are asking me to do wild stuff, I'm like, you know what? It's like we've already had so many close calls. Watch, I keep saying that, and next thing you know, you'll be watching my videos, you'll be like, oh my God, what is he doing now? Drinking water out of the side of the ditch. Yeah, if I had to guess, since the area up north is so small, I bet you I'll see that canoe again one day. I'll just have to try to remember what it looked like. It was like a provincial park canoe, and it was like made out of like a really thick plastic. Sort of like that washing machine detergent container plastic. Really hard shit. Now, to be fair, I'm kind of sick of canoeing because I got a bad shoulder now. I could canoe, but... Holy fuck, we're actually dying here. Oh yeah, it's the new dungeon. I forgot we didn't face him yet. Alright, let's test it. We haven't even tried this. Oh fuck, they turned us to ice right off the bat. Sons of bitches. I think this one should be easier because at least we're not stuck at a boss anymore. Yeah, so what else is new in Clone Evolution? We're getting damn close to making that Alice clone. I know, we've been saying that for like 2 months now. Hopefully we can actually finish. Yeah, that'd be such a trippy adventure if that was what I accomplished this summer. Tear down the old garage, build the new garage, and bring up 1 load of furniture. So at least I have like a desk, coffee table, a bed. And I'll just keep that in the upstairs of the garage. And then I'll keep all my work stuff for like filming and bikes and all that shit in the bottom part of the garage. Who knows, maybe I'll even get a little bit of gold panning equipment. Well, I do have some equipment already. The only thing that I'm missing is a crusher. If I got a rock crusher up north, oh, that'd be sweet. Then we could pick up a little bit of samples of quartz and crush it, put it through the blue bowl. That'd be fun. I always wanted to get my own gold dust. But I doubt I would actually have much time for mining. I bet you in most cases I'd probably just be making YouTube videos. Who knows, maybe I could do that as a spin-off on my channel. Do a little bit of gold panning videos. Oh yeah, that's what some of the viewers are mentioning too, is they like the pawpaw tree ideas for videos because they actually grow pawpaw trees and they were having bad luck with growing them. So if you're watching my videos about it, you could probably relate to that. My pawpaw trees haven't arrived yet, but they should be here in a few weeks, I think. Now, I used to have gold fever, but not really craving money as much as I used to. I used to crave money all the time where I was like, oh, I want to build like a mansion or a castle and get a huge ranch and like start a family and all this. Well, then after I got my work accident, I was like, you know what? It's like the whole family and ranch idea is not really too much in the cards anymore. So I was like, as much as I want money a lot still, it's not as bad, at least. Not like in a panic or a rush where I'm like, oh God, I gotta try to save up all this money by a certain time. All it takes is a good blow to the head to realize there's a lot more to life than money. Not having a headache is definitely worth a lot. That's for sure. Now, not to say that I have no drive for money, so yeah, it would be nice to get enough money to fix my place one day. Yeah, the way hyperinflation keeps going too, I really can't see saving the money. Because by the time you save it, it's just going to be worth nothing. Man, it's a shame. I was hoping we were going to have some better luck on some of these dungeons, but both of them look impossible. I can't do shit against them. Some days I wonder how I even made it to this far in the dungeon already. My team really hasn't changed much in months. Holy shit. Yeah, let's build a new team. This team is not working good for that. Let's try, excuse me, a little bit more. Try that. Oh shit, I don't know if anyone heard the video game news. I actually made a video about it, must be over a year ago now, where I was like, you know what? That Saudi billionaire, the prince, with all that oil money, he went around buying up a shitload of video game companies. Like the producers of games. And he was buying the rights to his own company that makes consoles. So he wants to be a console king. Like actually release his own video game console to compete with Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo. So there was another YouTuber who finally did a story about it. He's like, you know what? I think it's actually true. He didn't mention me or anything, but he's like, yeah, it's true that Saudi billionaire guy, not only did he buy the stakes to, what is it, Neo Geo, but he owns shitloads of the stakes now. So it's not even like he just got half of them and has control. That's what I did the video about. Now he owns like 90% of it or something. So he's not even hiding it anymore. He's like blatantly taking over the company. And everyone's thinking this could be a good thing because you know what? We've seen Japan dominate the video game markets for years. We've seen the US dominate the game market for years. Brazil kind of got their foot in it a bit, but they just kind of reproduced, what is it, Sega stuff. So it'd be weird to actually see, what is it, Saudi Arabia buy out Neo Geo, come out with their own console, have shitloads of the best game companies making games for their console, exclusives. I thought it was weird when I did the story about it. I'm like, you know what, I bet you nothing's ever going to come of this. So I was surprised, like a year later, it actually happened. But we haven't actually heard like the final details about what this new console is yet. All we know is that the deals are in place, the company's been bought out. They've bought all the game developers. You never know, because everyone's been talking about how video games kind of hit a stalemate for a while. Sure, we got these new consoles coming out, but there's no like next Minecraft, there's no next Roblox, no next Halo. We're looking for that new next big killer franchise or next big killer console. Who knows? Maybe it is the Saudis. They'll do it. Oh yeah, Elon and Twitter. Elon's actually getting sued by some of his people because apparently he was hiding that he was buying so much of the stocks so that he could get more cheaper before the price went up. Which you can't really blame him unless it actually does break the laws. I don't really know much about investing. Because really, isn't the guy going to try to save as much money as he can? Who wouldn't? You know, I was thinking all we need is some luck in this, is for Tengu to go on a dodging spree and just dodge the shit out of everything. If he does, then we could do some damage here. Yeah, nice dodge. Fuck. Too bad. If only Suzo would have dodged. Yeah, because if Suzo can go, do his attack before everyone else gets wiped, then we can beat. I think this is beatable. Starting to think so. Not this round, but... put someone in here that increases speed. Nice. That was a sick attack. Holy shit, maybe I was trying to get Suzo to go twice before then. Once wasn't enough. Oh, Genie died. Why? Why, Genie? Why you gotta die? Alright, beer number 1 vanished pretty quick. Man, I got some of these gel packs that you can refreeze in the freezer that came with that royal jelly. Holy fuck, man. Did they ever work good? Put them in your cooler. I'm trying to keep beers cold while you're doing a live stream. Man. Fuck, man. Adding her to the team did not help. If anything, that was much worse. I think the problem is we need more attack power. So, swap out her. Oh, we got no healer, right? That's the problem. No healer. Surprise, surprise. This guy packs a punch sometime. We'll try him. Oh, I think we really need Genie in this team, eh? Fuck, man. We got slaughtered without Genie. Let's try that. Ah, Kimberlite is where diamonds are. Yeah, I've got one rock I want to get tested to see if it's a diamond. I'll have to find someone up north who knows how to test diamonds. I looked up online how to do it, and there seems to be so many ways. It's all confusing. Yeah, it's funny. Tengu hasn't even been hit yet. Oh, he dies with one hit. Alright, screw that. Alright, we still have to do the arena. We better do those before the time runs out. Excuse me. Nah, I've been vaporizing way too much. At least I got rid of my headaches, though. I don't know, as much as it sucks to be vaping weed all the time, it's like, man, when I don't have to keep taking Tylenol all the time, it seems like it's not that bad of an alternative. Oh yeah, I went to my greenhouse and checked the garden, if anyone likes those videos. And I went to see how the vegetables have been doing. All my potato plants died. I figured they would because we got a bad cold spell and it just like shocked the shit out of them. But my onions, some animal got in the greenhouse and dug up 2 of my onions. So I was like, sons of bitches. Even though I have it in a greenhouse, they still got it. So when I finish the greenhouse in the spring, I'll really have to like seal it like no tomorrow. Make sure it's like airtight. Fucking animals, man. They get in every time. That's the main reason I got a greenhouse for vegetables this year is because every time I try to grow them, fucking animals, man, they get it. Doesn't matter if I put chicken wire, they'll dig around it. I guess they got all night to try, right? It's like they're taking over. Or do they think it's their land too? No, just kidding. No, I'll have to try to work with the animals. Instead of yelling at them about them killing and eating all my gardens. I should just film it for YouTube. Because usually people get a good laugh out of that stuff, right? And they see someone work so hard all year to grow vegetables, and for a groundhog to come around at the last minute, dig it all up and chew half of it and just leave it. Really, I was thinking the only chance I'd have is if I got some like really loud dogs and just left them outside all the time. So if any squirrels tried to eat or groundhogs tried to eat stuff, the dogs would totally attack them. Yeah, there's a German word for that. Schweinhund. No, pig dog. And you know what I'm thinking? The only chance that my pawpaw fruits will have is I notice the squirrels, they don't eat the plums on my neighbor's tree. For some reason, they don't like plums. So I was like, you know what? If the squirrels don't like plums, maybe there's a chance they won't go for the pawpaws. I hope. Watch, it's their favorite food. That's what some people say. The squirrels will see me planting the pawpaw trees and they'll just be licking their lips. They'll be like, all right. Oh, laughing at someone else's misfortune. Yeah, I gotta try not to do that. Easier said than done. That actually happened to a friend of mine when he was at the Toronto Raptors game. He was at the Raptors game and he saw the fireworks hit the speakers, catch on fire. And then he started laughing at some of the people that got ejected who were in the front row or whatever. He's like, oh, those rich people, you got the nice tickets, but now that you're playing backfired and you have to evacuate. And then right after he said that, they made everyone evacuate. So I was like, yeah, sometimes that happens, right? If you laugh at other people's misfortune, not only is it not nice to do, but it tends to like backfire. Yeah, I've had that happen plenty. I try to learn. Try. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. If I can film animals just pigging out, eating my garden, it might actually get some good laughs on YouTube. So it won't be that bad of a disaster after all. That's how life works sometimes, right? You get dealt some really shitty hands, but some people are able to use those and still do all right. Can even win. You just gotta bluff. All right, so there we go. There we go. Where we need, oh yeah, the consume the heroes. Holy shit, 35 heroes. We must have made a couple extra golds. I think we're all set once we make Alice. Well, I shouldn't say all set. We need more purple potions, but we're getting close. Yeah, once we get the extra purple potions, then we'll be all set. Excuse me. Yeah, if anyone's wondering, we're going to be able to use the guild technology to upgrade a fair bit. We've saved up a decent amount. Shit, we even have enough to boost Alice again. I might even go that route. Just keep pumping it into chaos. Chaos and ice is probably where it's all going from here on in. Hey, bloopers. What is up? No, I'm just kidding. Same old, same old. No, it's actually really good news today. It is super nice weather outside. I've been outside like doing yard work. It may sound like shitty to be outside raking and gardening, but fuck man, after shoveling snow for 9 months or whatever, it's a nice change. Yeah, all the news we had is, what is it, Neo Geo, the Saudi billionaire, has even more of the company of SNK. So the new console from the Saudis is well on its way. Ooh, a refresh. And if anyone's wondering, am I going to buy the new Neo Geo? Probably not, because it'll be too expensive. Neo Geo is one of those companies that's known for releasing consoles that cost like 10 times the price. So if a PlayStation 5 costs like $1,000, then the Neo Geo should cost like 10 grand. And the reason they price it that high is so that only arcades can really show people the games. So that'll make arcade games more popular again. I'm just wondering, like, how much better is a console going to be if it costs like $10,000, right? Like, aren't the graphics pretty much already maxed? And who knows, maybe they won't make it 10,000, they'll make it 5,000, but either way, I'm not buying a console that costs that much. And then there'll be the market of people that do have the money to buy it, so they'll be able to stream like a console that no one else can afford. See, I think that's where the... Hey, George, how's it going? Yeah, shave the eyebrows. No, we'll have to make a deal with George. If he wants to pay for my garage up north, I'll shave my eyebrows. At least part of them. I'm just gonna... Well, I'll just shave the edges off, give them a nice trim. No, they're a little bit thick. I give George that. He's right. Yeah, oh yeah, thanks for the super chat. Alright! Now, if anyone's wondering, do I actually have the money to build my garage up north? Probably not. It's going to be close. Especially with the rapid inflation, how building expenses got so much. They might give me an estimate that's like house prices, and I'll be like, you know what? If it costs the same to buy a house, then I might as well just do that. So we'll see how much it really is. But if the plan goes well, that'd be weird, right? We'll be doing live streams up north. That was the weirdest thing I was thinking. If I get my internet going and hydro hooked up north, I'll bring my backup computer. So I'll actually have like a full live streaming setup at both locations. The place here in the big city and up north. So that'll be weird, eh? Be able to do live streaming from 2 different studios. No, and then that's the dream. Finish the garage, get 1 trip up with my brother to bring furniture. Then I'm all set. That's hard to believe, right? Like, you imagine everything went that smooth? I doubt it. I don't want to jinx it, but yeah, the odds of everything working out, it's got to be like 1 in a million. But we'll try. See how far we can actually do it. Usually what happens is I get to the point where I get the building permits approved, and then something bad happens. Either the finances fall through, I'll lose my job, or something weird will occur. So we'll see this time. Hopefully, keep our fingers crossed. No, because I've heard a lot of different gaming shows where people are like, hey, do different gaming shows, show what gaming's like in the big cities. But I think it'd be kind of neat too, eh? To travel to Quebec, show what the French gaming is like, especially French Canadian. There's even a retro gaming community by my place up north in Quebec. They even have their own store. It's like a big one. So I'll be able to go there and see all the retro French games. That'll be kind of different, but no, to me, I'm a little bit put off by like a different language, not understanding. But that whole Google earbuds thing. So I'll literally be able to buy earbud and just wear it. So that way, at least when people are talking French, I can understand it. The big issue will be if I can communicate back to them. I guess I'll just be able to do sign language, right? I'll be able to nod, and hopefully the occasional person will know some English. Yeah, I know French fries. No. Now, I did take lots of French classes, but sadly, not to blame the girls, but yeah, there was a lot of hot babes in a lot of my French classes, and I was a bit distracted. Didn't learn much of the language. Oh man, when I was my first French teacher, oh, she was a total babe. And she always wore white shirts where you could like totally see through to her bra. And you could see like every guy in the class just drooling the whole time. Like, I don't think anyone's learning anything. Well, maybe the women or girls in the class. But geez. Ça va bien. Freedom fries. Oh yeah, instead of French fries. No, they do have poutines, and I started getting into trying poutines. Now I'm starting to get chest pains. No, just kidding. I shouldn't make fun of it. No, I really got to cut back on the grease. It's not a good combination. No, but poutines, like the fries, Canadian or French style, definitely, there's something to it. Everyone talks about who has the best poutine. It's funny, if you go to each place in Canada and try all the poutines, they're all different. So if someone says that they've tried a Canadian poutine, it's like, I don't know, there's so many of them. How could you really try them all? Yeah, the curds thing. That's what I was thinking. Some people put like different cheese. Wow. No, surprisingly, no joke, it's like Harvey's actually makes one of the best poutines. And it's a reasonable price too. Like $15 or whatever. Yeah, the poutine. Yeah, poutine sales are way down. No, I'm just kidding. They're boycotting poutines. It just sounds too much like Putin. I shouldn't joke. The war stuff is actually banned in our new terms of service. I love the war. I mean, I don't even know what we're supposed to say. Do we support the war? We support the official theory of the war, or whatever that is. We definitely do not support the raging conspiracy theories. Unless we use sign language. Just kidding. Oh yes, we got our hands on the gold chest. No, I do got to get cleaned up. I'm not going to be shaving my eyebrows, but I'm going to have to give my arms a good fucking coat, or my winter coat a shave. I don't know if anyone's seen, but my arms are like thick as a fucking sweater, so I really need to spring shave. Who am I kidding? It's not spring shave. It's been like a month since I last shaved. Or trimmed. I don't actually shave my body, but I like to trim it so that I don't look at least like an animal. I used to be into growing it thick, not anymore. I can't really stand it. No, at one point I used to do a competition with people of like, you know what, who has the hairiest legs or who has the hairiest arms? It's like, whoever wants to win that competition, it's fine by me. I don't want to win it anymore. I've taken that title home enough. Now I can just imagine, can you imagine like if I shaved my whole body, including my eyebrows, my whole body would grow in like a carpet in like a couple weeks, and my eyebrows would probably take like 6 months to grow back. And George would get a good laugh. It's like, why does the hair everywhere else grow so much faster? Now, some days I laugh when people are like, oh no, Leland shaved his beard. It's going to look so funny. And it's like, just give it a week. He'll be back. The cat came back. It's just lit. Yeah, that's what happened to a friend of mine. He used to always say that he wanted to grow a beard so bad. And he's already into like almost 50. And he still just has peach fuzz. I was like, how do you do that, man? It's like, I think it must be genetics, eh? Something, there's a gene for hair, maybe. Yeah, the gene for hair sucks. I was actually watching a show about it. It was this guy who used to translate the ancient Anunnaki texts for the cuneiform tablets. And he worked for the Vatican, so they would translate him to like translate some of the oldest things they could find to see how it connected to the Bible. And it had all this weird stuff about like different times where humans were created. Excuse me. And the one time it talked about a rendition of humans, and the gods wanted to get rid of it because the humans that they created had a whole bunch of defects. One of the defects was that excessive body hair, like we were just talking about. And the other one was a bad back. So it's like they're almost crippled their whole life with back pain. And the other defect was bad. Oh yeah, and bald. So I was like, isn't that kind of funny? It's like, it's usually people, not to make fun of bald people with bad backs and really hairy, but it's like looking in the mirror when I say that. It's weird how so many people have those three problems. No, they said eventually that the Anunnaki or the gods, they started to create new versions of people that had a lot of those old defects worked out. But for some reason, they never got rid of all the old strain. So there was still some defective genes. Not to say that my genes are defective, but yeah, defective genes aren't always bad. They can be unique, right? Oh, snoring. Yeah, that was the thing too, snoring. I was like, isn't that weird, eh? It's like so many bald people snore really loud. They have bad backs. Who knows if there really is something to those ancient tablets. No, some people say they want to take credit as being like the oldest kind of human. They're like, why would you want to be the oldest? I'd want to be the new refined model, right? Who wants to be the original iPhone? That would suck. Now, I'm sure there's people that are bald and bad backs and every type of people around the world. That was one thing that always puzzled me about the Egyptians. They were ones that were really common with the bad back thing too, right? Wasn't a lot of the Egyptian pharaohs, they would dig up their caskets and find out that their backs were like mangled, but they were still able to walk. That's actually what my chiropractor said. He's like, dear God, man. He's like, your back is fucked. Well, he didn't put it like that, but you can imagine. I think he said it was the worst he had seen. And I was like, you're not supposed to say that, man. You're supposed to be like, it's not that bad. Come on, try to boost my spirits here. Fuck. Nah, he was just surprised that I had scoliosis in 3 spots. He said most people like have scoliosis worse than me, but they only have it in 1 spot, or they'll have it in 2. He said it's weird to have 3 spots of scoliosis. And I think what happened is when I got one of them, I started to compensate like a Jenga board, right? So eventually once you compensate one way, you have to compensate the other way. And eventually it's enough that it doesn't hurt so bad. Now, most of the time I can get by. I just have to go easy on it. Can't be carrying like fucking hundreds of pounds of weight like I used to. Oh, the Pope. Yeah, I think he apologized for what the church did. But did he really apologize for killing kids? Maybe. Because that'd be weird, right? If the church was like openly just killing the kids. Like usually they have to say that there was someone who did it by accident or whatever, right? The lone wolf thing. Not that the whole organization was in on it. Yeah, that'd be fucked, eh? If the whole church was doing it. No, it is good if the church tries to at least make some sort of peace. If it helps. No, it is kind of scary when the whole victimhood thing gets out of control, right? Like, I don't know if probably can't even talk about it on YouTube, but that latest shooting in New York that happened to be on the sacrifice line, it turned out to be an activist, and yeah, I probably can't even talk about it without getting taken down, so won't get into too much of it. But yeah, a lot of victimhood, blaming everything on shit. But I know I even see it with Ukraine now. It kind of drives me nuts, right? Like, now Ukraine's supposed to be the new victim, where everyone feels sorry for Ukraine. They're like, oh, so sorry for you. It's like, I get it. Like, half my family's from Ukraine, and I should be hating the Russians and feeling sorry for myself and because I'm Ukrainian. It's like, I don't know. Just kind of sickens me to my core. Now, I kind of wish that Ukraine would have found a way to resolve the whole situation without even having to go to war. Just going to war was probably the biggest failure right off the bat. I still can't believe that I found out that Ukraine used to have like a shitload of nuclear weapons. And that's why Russia was never attacking them, because they could nuke fucking Moscow in like seconds. It's not like it would take long for the missiles to get there, right? So guess what happened? Ukraine kept all these missiles and they aimed them at Russia, and they had peace for decades. Why? Because the fucking missiles, right? So what happened? Russia funded peace activists, like they funded the Green Party to shut down the pipelines, crippling people's supply chain just before the war. But yeah, that's what they did. They funded the peace activists, disarmed all the nuclear weapons, and guess who they gave the weapons to? That's the irony. Ukraine, when they disarmed their weapons, they gave them to Russia. Can you believe that? Of all the things to read in the history book. And we're supposed to believe this war is some sort of like happening by accident. I guess I have to agree with the official narrative. So if that's what they say, I guess it happened by accident. But it's like, what did you think was going to happen? You disarmed all your weapons and you gave them to your enemy. It's like, what the fuck? There was even a bunch of like university professors, and they wrote articles about it in like the 90s. They're like, you know what? Disarming all your nukes and giving them to Russia, that's probably going to trigger another war. And people are like, oh no, when would Russia ever attack? Yeah, when? Fuck. Oh well. Give peace a chance. Who would have thought that it was the nuclear weapons all along that were actually keeping the peace? Now, it's kind of what you learn from watching the UFC, right? A lot of times in the UFC, two fighters, they battle each other out till they almost kill each other. Mutual destruction. And when they reach that point where both of them are almost dead and it's like the fight is over and it goes to the judge's decision, that's when they get the peace out of it, right? They're like, all right, we almost killed each other. We don't hate each other anymore. The sort of mutual destruction. Once you've nearly annihilated each other, you're like, you know what? Maybe we can work this out. Yeah, let's switch this up a bit. Try that. Yeah, that's the weird thing. Eh? It's like everyone's apologizing for what happened in the past. Seems kind of strange. Especially when you think about the olden days, right? Like how cruel everyone used to be back then. Not to say that there wasn't saints anywhere, but dear God. I know, that's what I was listening to this one show about Columbus. And they're like, Columbus, man, he was this brutal guy. It's like he would kill everyone and all this stuff. And I was like, but it's like you got to think of the times back then, right? It's like 90% of people are brutal and killing everyone, right? It's not like it was like a rare thing back then. So it's like, what are we going to do? Like erase the history of like 90% of people? Till we find some saints and then be like, all right, those are the guys. They're the only ones that existed in the past. Everyone else gone from the history. Not to excuse what Columbus did or anything, but dear God. It's like how many people were really saints back then? No, it is kind of an atrocity even when you think about it today with Children's Aid, right? Like, fuck. How many people get their kids taken away from Children's Aid and it's just not right. So yeah, I guess the church was doing it a lot back then. Children's Aid still does it. Oh, we got victory. I've actually had friends and family that had to go with through the Children's Aid fiascos. Even, yeah, seeing some bad shit. Well, I guess not to the point where they're actually taking the kids away, but pretty close. Yeah, man. To go back in the past and to think about why it all happened too, right? Some sort of master plan from the creator. The Turtle Island prophecy shit. Let's hope all the fucking destruction wasn't for nothing. I'm actually getting scared that the new golden age is coming. I keep thinking about all the stuff that's supposed to happen, like, I don't know, what is it, 3 or 4 years from now? I'm like, holy shit, man, there's so much good shit scheduled from 3 to 4 years from now. It almost seems like we're going to have to hit a huge road bump, actual shit show before that happens. Yeah, because we're going to land on the moon in 3 to 4 years. We're going to open up that new train service for me to do all my trips up north in 3 to 4 years. I think that new video game by Neo Geo, it'll be out in 3 to 4 years. We're getting, oh, maybe even hologram technology. Fuck, we got another victory. This team combination's working. Oh, that's why, because we switched it around. All right, let's go for round 3. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. People are saying that we shouldn't tear down the offensive statues so that we don't forget the past. Because then we'll just start repeating it. Which my city is famous for. We had these old streetcars back in the turn of the century. We're like one of the first cities in North America to get a streetcar. And eventually the city developed bus technology. So like, fuck man, we don't need these streetcars anymore. Let's use buses. So they tore out all the streetcar tracks and the city forgot about them. Well, they knew about them, but they didn't know all the details. So when they went to dig the city up to put in modern streetcars, like just like, I don't know, 5 years ago for interest's sake, guess what happened? Oh yeah, another victory. They hit some old ruins and they thought it was like an ancient civilization. So they called the archaeologist in to see what it was. And guess what it was? It was the old streetcar track. So not only did we forget the past, but it actually did doom us in the future. We wasted all that money on the Archaeological Research Committee just to find out that it was the old streetcar. Isn't it funny they put the track in the same spot and forgot? Yeah, that's what I thought was really weird with the Russia situation, how everyone was condemning the Russians. I was like, you know what? Didn't we just talk about this in World War II? When they put all the Japanese people in the internment camps in the United States just because they were Japanese? That's pretty much the same thing as condemning someone because they're Russian, right? So I don't know. It is kind of a weird situation. I get it, with war and stuff, people are so paranoid that they'll do crazy shit, but still, to start segregating people out by nationality, that's fucked. Especially when the mainstream endorses it. That's when I start to get worried, because I'm like, you know what? As long as the mainstream media isn't enforcing this idea that we should segregate people out by nationality, hold them guilty by association, when they start to enforce that, it's like, holy shit, man. That's when we should start to pay attention. But there's a lot of good sports on TV. Yeah, you gotta figure though, it's like people got bombed by Japan, and then they were all paranoid that the Japanese people were actually all plotting against them. And it was a war, so everyone's like, oh god. That's why it's crazy, eh? Like if a war starts, what people can actually be capable of. It's fucked. Oh yeah, if anyone's got a form of virtual reality, if they want to help test my video and it sucks really bad at the beginning, I realize that I put the worst part of the video right at the beginning. So I'll try to make part 2 a little bit better so it won't be the worst part right off the bat. What I mean by worst part, it was just the worst video quality because it was at night. I started filming early in the morning, so it was still dark out. But yeah, if you have virtual reality and you pop it on and you like it, or you see any ways that you think it could be improved, just let me know in the chat. That'd be great. And you don't even have to watch it in virtual reality if you don't have it, because you can just, full screen it on YouTube. And it'll give you all the options to like pan the camera around, and you can zoom in and out. You can look down my butt crack when I bend over. No, I'm just kidding. That's why you got to be careful when you film with those VR cameras, right? They see everything. There's no camera angle that goes untouched. You can like pan anywhere. It is a little bit weird because like I haven't watched it in VR yet, so I've been still hooking up my PlayStation. It's taken days. It's been difficult for me to finish jobs inside because it's been so nice outside. I'm like, hey, let's work outside while it's nice. Oh yeah, I did some more privacy fencing for my backyard, for the pool and such, and for when I'm filming the YouTube videos. So what I did is I got some extra metal wire and increased the height of my fence by like almost double. So now when the vines grow in next year, they should be able to double in size. Ah, there we go. Yeah, we'll have to be careful. No, some people got the idea to pick the berries on my vine. And I tried to warn them. I'm like, don't pick them because there's poison berries and good berries on the same fence. So if you start picking them, you have to be super careful that you don't pick one by accident. And guess what they did? They picked a whole bunch of the berries and picked the poison ones and mixed them all together. Now, luckily, the poison berries were just the kind that cause kidney stones. But I was like, you know what? Kidney stones still really suck, right? Like, you can still die from a kidney stone. Now, arguably, the kidney stone risk is only the same as eating spinach. But still, I would just go for the good grapes and leave those poison grapes to be. Leave them for the birds. Yeah, I think if the Pope really wanted to come clean about everything, they would explain why they were going in and trying to erase the history of the natives. I don't know if the Vatican would actually ever come clean on those reasons. Because if you bust open the Vatican archive, like they got this giant library, they're not really burning all the ancient texts they find around the world. They went in and they claimed or stole all the Aztec documents. They didn't burn them all. I'm sure they did burn some of them, but... So you can imagine how many records they took from the First Nations people, why they were hiding them all in their libraries. What did their archives really unveil about the existence of the Creator? I think what freaks the Vatican out the most is when they got to the First Nations peoples and they found almost all of the same traditions when they looked at it and compared it to where their Bible shit came from. The same pagan source. They're like, how the hell did the pagans in Europe and the pagans in North America have the same Orion mythology? That's what freaked the Pope and all that shit out. Why did they have to go to the extent to try to cover it all up? All right, I guess we'll go to the commercial. We'll be right back. Pussy Riot released a new song today. Yeah, I'll have to get back into music. You know, that's what I was thinking when I do my new place, the garage up north. I don't even know if I'll do a TV. I think I'm just going to get a nice music stereo. So when people come over to visit, I don't even put on a TV. We'll just like put on music and chill. Actually, that's what my one buddy has at Kirkland Lake. I was like, where's your TV, man? He's like, oh, I don't even have it hooked up. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? He's like, oh, I'm just listening to music. Yeah, I've gotten out of listening to music. I should get back into it. I think it's because there's not too many good new musics out there. A lot of it's like 80s shit that I've already heard a million times before, or 90s stuff.
Alright, today's Neo Geo information is brought to you by Crunk. Crunk. It'll fuck you up.
Alright, so Suki, Dan, Jim, Ray, Travis, and everyone who's ever donated to Patreon, thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Society 6, finishing quick, my specialty. T-shirts, bed sheets, both popular with the ladies. Hideout TV, pays you to watch videos, swag bucks to shop, GameKit to try games, and free Bitcoin. It's a wallet system for crypto. And just make sure you follow regional laws, including the one for the virtual mate sex machine for adults and men only. Ladies need a sex machine. They know who to call. Alright, let's see, $10 off, 150 or more with the coupon code LYNBS. That's LYNBSN. It is a real coupon code and I get a kickback, and I got my website there. Alright, let's go back to the game. For some reason I cloned some more robots, so we'll go and consume them. Oh yeah, if anyone wants to get an idea about how much we actually boosted up, or how much purple potions we saved. We got enough to boost Skady up a couple. So I was thinking, what should I do? Boost up Skady, or save these purple potions and use them for the transformation? Because we have to save up a whole bunch of purple potions for a new transformation. I'm thinking we need like over 2,000. So maybe we really should just save the purple potions and not give it to Skady yet, right? Or does anyone think we should just say hell with it, go with Skady for now, and then once we save up the purple potions again, then do the transformation? And if anyone's wondering what the fuck transformation am I talking about, let's show. If I want to upgrade Alice to the next star, I have to get not only another copy of Alice, but boost her all the way to 6 star. Or is that 7? No, that's 6 stars. Yeah, I'll need 900 in order to Skady. But how many do you need to go from 0 stars all the way up to 7? Is that like 2,000? Because I'll have to get Alice, like I'll make her, but then I have to boost her all the way up to 6 star, then I can consume her, right? So that's going to be quite a bit to go from 0 stars all the way up to 6. So if anyone in the chat knows how much it goes, or how much purple potions do you need to go from 0 all the way up to 6? So I'm guessing we're not even halfway there yet. You know, that's what I was wondering too. Maybe everything with the church and the Pope and all this stuff that's going on, and the stuff with the... That was the fucked up shit. I don't know if anyone's looked into the weird allegations about different symbols that are being used in the war in Europe. And they started to say the letter Z. And I was like, what the fuck does the letter Z matter, right? Like, Dragon Ball Z, it uses the same letter. Like, why the fuck would Z be banned, right? Then I started to realize that they're talking about that old legend that we were just talking about, the fucking spinning god in the sky. The one that the pagans all based all their religions on, the Orion man. Bam. No, so maybe with everything that's happening weird, like how that connects also to the Z symbol, because it's the A to Z legend, or Alpha to Omega, the whole creation story. So it's weird that the church and all the shit that happened with the natives was all over that A to Z legend, or Alpha to Omega pagan religion stuff. And then you look at the war in Russia and the symbol that they're fighting over, the Z. It's the other part to that Alpha to Omega Z legend. The story of all creation that's found across the globe. So it's fucked, man. It's like, it's almost like everything is coming to like an apex at the same time in different corners of the globe, all about the same challenge. So maybe as bad as it looks, it could be a good sign that we're actually getting to the bottom of the mystery. The only thing that freaks me about is if mankind actually solves the mystery of our past, like how we got here, who the creator is, and like solve everything, I think that's when the simulation ends, right? Not to say that the earth and the universe is just a pointless simulation or not a real simulation or whatever, but God, if we figure out everything, what's left, right? So that's why I kind of hope that we're not really getting to the end and we'll figure everything out, but God, it almost looks that way. It's kind of fucked up, right? Like, not to be a doomsday person, but can you imagine that? Humanity solves the past one day. Like, oh, we know who God is now. We know how the universe works. It's like there's no mystery left in anything. What kind of life would that be? That's the weirdest part about life in general when you think how much mystery there is. And how luckily we are to actually have a mystery. It'd be so easy for everything to be just solved already and there'd be no mystery to any of it. Half the fun would be gone. Alright, so I think we'll try another one of these battles. I think that's where we left off, wasn't it? We're actually making progress here. Yeah, if anyone like George is saying, the Easter pagan connections. Dear God. Easter in Ukraine has a whole tradition with the eggs. And guess what symbol they were drawing on it? The Z's. Or versions of it. And it happens to be tracing back to their ancient roots in Iran. And then guess where the other Z's trace their roots back? When you got like the Avestan and the Zoroastrian, or the stuff from India, they trace it back to Iran. The Tibetans, First Nations people, Navajo. That damn Z symbol gets around. Yeah, I did actually a whole episode about Easter. It's actually in my archive for Ancient Mysteries, if anyone wants to check it out. It's not really your traditional Easter show, that's for sure. Actually, one of my favorite podcast guests, he watched the Easter episode, and not only did he like it, but he shares it every year. I was like, man, what a nice guy. He's one of the actors from the show Vikings. So he's really into the pagan stuff too, so he liked the pagan Easter. I think what it is, because a lot of people, well, I shouldn't say a lot, there's a few people that like pagan stuff, but actually like Jesus too. So like if there's like a pagan Jesus idea, they're not totally objected to it right away. Because I don't know, to be honest, I think Jesus is like the story we hear. A lot of it's messed up. It's like we're getting a lot of it from the Romans, right? And the Romans are the people that hated him the most. So it's kind of weird to take their word on it. And we're missing so much of the story. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's a lot of pagan stuff in there. The whole backstory we never got. No, the Easter rabbit. If anyone wonders what the hell does that have to do with sacrifice and the whole Jesus story, the rabbits actually, especially in First Nations culture, I think too, is involved in the sacrifice legends. The Aztec have a sacrifice legend about the rabbit. The Chinese do. The rabbit on the moon. Yeah, if anyone thought it was a man on the moon, it's actually a rabbit. Now, when I go on my trip up north in the summer, not only am I going to be focusing on the garage stuff, which is probably going to be a horrific disaster, so I'll have to have a backup plan. And I'll just, hang out with some of my friends and probably do some camping, mountain climbing, and vlogging. So yeah, I'll try to do some more stories and about the ancient past and explore some of the mysteries. Maybe we'll even do the abandoned military base. We'll have to be careful though. The military tends to follow me around on a lot of my trips up north. I'm not sure why exactly. The military actually came and told me that they follow my work. I was like, that's really weird. So at least they're not hiding it. Some people are like, oh, the military's stalking you. I'm like, it's not really stalking you if they tell you, right? It's not like they're hiding watching me. What I always don't understand is why they would even care enough. It's not like I'm always doing shows about exploring the ruins of old military bases. That's actually very rare. I think I've only done one episode where I went to a military base and explored the ruins. And we barely showed anything, so I was like, the military shouldn't be that pissed. Now, the one thing I always run into weird too, we'll see if it happens on my next camping trip, is we always run into someone who looks like they're watching us. And then when I go and confront them, I'm like, hey, what are you doing over here? They'll be like, oh, we're looking for our lost dog. I'll be like, they always have the same motive of why they're watching us. And I was like, do you want me to help you look for your dog? And they're like, no, it's okay. I'm like, well, if your dog is missing, aren't you really worried? Like, shouldn't we get as many people together to help look? I guess that's just a common excuse, right? If you're like caught watching someone, you're like, oh, I was just looking for my dog. Here, boy, where are you? It's like, sir, do you even have a dog? Yeah. No, the one person that we caught watching us was like this middle-aged woman. And she was kind of hot. So I was like, whoa, this hot babe's like staking us out, right? And then the other guy, he looked like a typical hunter type guy. Like mustache, glasses. Looked like he probably has like shotguns in the trunk. But he was a nice guy. Like, I asked him, like, hey, man, like, what are you doing? And he's like, looking for the dog. And I'm like, hey, can you help us find the Stonehenge? Because that's where we're actually looking for it and couldn't find it. And he gave us directions. He knew exactly where it was, which I was kind of surprised. I was like, I didn't even think all the locals really cared about it, because a lot of people don't even think it's real. But no, he knew all about it, and he gave us the directions and how to get there. So I was like, all right. So even though he was like stalking us, at least it helped. I was worried he was going to come over and say that we were on private property, and I was like, oh fuck, maybe we should go move, because I didn't even know where private property was there. So I was like, fuck, I don't even know. This guy could be coming to kick us out. No, it's a little bit freaky when you're on trips up there, especially alone. I think I showed it in one of my videos. It's like when you look on the ground is like literally covered in rifle shells. So it's like, yeah, people are firing guns off there all the time. And it's like for hunting, obviously. But still, you got to be careful, right? Everyone's armed. You wouldn't want to piss people off up there. That's actually kind of gets me warmed up for my trips to Mexico. No, I'm just kidding. Excuse me. I'll get used to everyone having guns. Oh yeah, that was the one time. There was a guy that came up near my campsite, and he came up with like 2 really hot babes, and he sent one of the hot babes over to ask me for smokes or joints, I guess, but she couldn't speak English. So we tried to communicate, and it sucked because right before she asked me for it, I just finished my last joint. I was like, oh, what are the odds? I brought like a whole pack of 10 joints. Why didn't I just save one for when the hot babe was coming over? Oh well. No, the worst part of that story too. Oh man, that was like a nightmare trip. I knew things were going bad right when that happened. No, because what happened was I was camping in the middle of nowhere. So I'm like, oh, what are the odds? I can just like go to the washroom in the woods and not have to worry about anyone stepping in it. So lo and behold, when the girl was coming over, no, and then after, I think, yeah, she was probably pissed that I didn't have smokes or a joint for her, and because she stepped in some shit. Oh, yeah, I felt so bad. But then after, they threw rocks at me, so I was like, all right, I guess they kind of got even. They didn't hit me with the rocks, but... Oh yeah, and then when they missed me with the rocks, then they also like sped up their car and shot more rocks at me. But luckily it was just some dirt that hit me. Now it was a bad series of events. Like if I could have spoke English, I could have yelled and said, yo, don't walk over there. And if I had a joint, then yeah, I could have gave her a joint, but no. It was just bad all around. Yeah, next time I go camping, even if I'm in the middle of nowhere, I'm going to bring a shovel so that I can bury stuff. That was mean. Lesson learned. Yeah, so who knows what kind of adventures I'll have in Quebec next. If I had to guess, I'll find something. Now, I think that might add an element of surprise to my travel videos when I'm traveling in a foreign country with a language I can't understand. But technically I can, because I'll be just wearing the Google earbuds. So the viewers, they won't be able to understand, but I'll be able to understand. So that'll be kind of a weird element, right? Like all the viewers will be like, whoa, what did the person say? Unless they turn on the auto Google Translate. Woo, we might get this victory. Come on, fire. Finish them. Now, if I had to guess what's going to happen, something really weird is going to happen to try to prevent the moon landing. We already had a pandemic that almost prevented it, and that didn't stop it. So I'm wondering what's going to try to stop the moon landing next. Will it just be a worse pandemic? Will it be a worse war? Will it be some sort of natural disaster? I'm kind of surprised natural disasters have been at such a low for so long, right? We really haven't had a bad hurricane or a bad tornado or a bad earthquake. I know we've had a few like major ones, but nothing like catastrophic, right? I don't know, when I was a kid growing up, we used to have catastrophic stuff like when the San Francisco earthquake happened and it like flattened entire cities where like highways collapsed and shit. Like that's the type of catastrophe that we're like well overdue for, right? So not to try to predict some sort of catastrophe, but I don't know, the way the moon landing's shaping up, we're getting so close to doing it. There's got to be some other big obstacle that's going to try to stop it. Yes, another victory. Yeah, I noticed more people are starting to get back into the moon landing stuff. Although I have to say, like, a lot of the moon landing stuff is just so ridiculous. I'm surprised that anyone even pays any attention to it. Like the whole theory that we didn't go, I think that one's a bit ridiculous. I kind of like the theory that we went and they didn't tell us the whole story. That one seems to make a lot more sense to me. I don't know, to me the moon landing always seemed like it was something weird happened to them, and it was so bad that they really couldn't even tell us. So it's been this long and we still don't know what it was. And I think the only way we're going to find out is when we go back, and that's why it's getting delayed so long. Now what I was thinking one of the things could be, can you imagine? The reason we can't go back to the moon, or we've had to delay it for so long, is because that's when the simulation ends. Aliens might be like, or God, creator, or aliens, whatever you want to call it, person who created the simulation. As soon as they get to the moon, game's up. So maybe that's why they're like, oh shit, we got to delay going back to the moon, or we can't even enjoy the Earth any longer. That'd be fucked. Let's hope that's not what it is. Because that way, then this whole pandemic would have actually been slowing down our inevitable destruction. Or the ending of the simulation. Blessing in disguise. No, the moon stuff is where everything on the Earth starts to get really fucked up, right? Like, a lot of the protests that we get going on the Earth, what is it over? Money and shit, right? As soon as we start going to the space, that's what Gene Roddenberry started to tell people, is like, the big thing when you go to space, what makes a space civilization different, is all of a sudden you have an infinite, well, maybe not infinite, but you start to reach the point of having infinite space and resources. So that's one of the things that causes a lot of wars on the planet, is we're always fighting over the limited space and resources. So we could turn the struggles where we're always fighting each other to fight exploration. Start building aircraft carriers to go out and explore instead of using them to fight each other. Yeah, because once you're in space, you can start mining the shit out of asteroids and stuff, right? Then all of a sudden we have infinite metals. It's like, can you imagine what the stock market would do if all of a sudden we had infinite gold? They're like, oh shit, we got like an asteroid of gold now. It's like we got enough that we can send down like gold bars to build houses and shit, right? They're like, oh, gold's no longer rare. That'd be fucked, right? Not to say that our society would change that dramatically if all of a sudden we had infinite resources, but dear God, can you imagine we built like an apartment building on the moon that could fit like 1 billion people? Then all of a sudden like 1 billion people did move. All of a sudden the Earth started to get like less habited. And you'd be like, what the fuck, right? All of a sudden we build like a giant complex on the Mars where it can fit like 5 billion people. Then the Earth is looking at like 1% of its population left to people. Most people just went for the cheap housing on other planets. That'd be fucked, right? I don't really think we'll see that in our lifetimes, but you never know. I never thought we'd see a pandemic. I could really see that though, like the rich people, they would offer everyone a really cheap apartment on like another planet. They'd be like, you know what? If you're willing to live on Mars, we'll give you like a fucking 5,000 square foot condo. You don't even have to get a job. You can just like live in it and watch TV all day. And the government will give you a guaranteed minimum income and you'll just have to live on another planet. You know how many people would take the money and just go, right? Yeah, they'd have like a bonus for going. Sort of like people that live in Alaska. They get like a bonus for living in Alaska. Now, to me, I think it would be a wild bonus for a lot of YouTubers, right? Can you imagine the YouTuber industry when they're going to other moons and planets and shit? Like, I'm not just travel vlogging going to another country. I'll be travel vlogging going to space one day. That'd be fucked, right? And then all the things that we find on the moon, it'll be full of demons and all these obstacles we've never encountered before. Hey, Dan Davis, how's it going, man? Type 0 civilization. Yeah, we're still in the entry phase for civilization, right? Once we actually start getting infinite resources, that'll be the big game changer. I think the big game changer, even what Bill Gates has hinted at too, is once we can artificially create food from energy. Like an actual sustainable diet where we don't even need to farm anything anymore. I know it'll suck to eat like sludge or whatever genetic stuff they 3D print, but once it's possible. Because they really still haven't answered that yet. I noticed NASA, they keep dodging that question over and over again. Like, what are astronauts going to eat on different planets? Because they can't just live off lettuce, right? Especially if you're sending someone to Mars. What are they going to do? Eat lettuce for the rest of their life? So now I actually found some documents where NASA started to look into insects. So they're going to harvest like ants or crickets or grasshoppers or whatever. So that way that they can actually get the astronauts some meat to eat. Some protein. I was thinking, as gross as that is, it's better than getting stuck eating lettuce every day, right? Because that's when you can tell they're not really planning for real to go long term. When they just say stuff like they're going to grow plants. It's like, yeah, plants are nice and all, but you're still going to need some actual energy food. Some people can live off the vegan diet, but it's very rare. That's why it's so rare that people do it for more than a few years. Eventually your body's like, holy fuck, just give me some meat. Holy man, how many of these battles are we going to beat? Just railing them back. Now I'm kind of looking forward to the moon phase of it. That's why, like, I actually got my questions aired on a big science fiction show that was on YouTube just recently, like a few weeks ago. And that's what the question I asked him. I'm like, what's the deal with like Stargate coming out with a new series? Isn't it too much science fiction all at the same time? Especially with the new moon landing. And then the guy actually answered the question. You'll never guess what he said. Unless you heard me say this already. He said that it's no coincidence that he thinks that, what is it, Star Wars, Star Trek, and now Stargate are all at like their peak of their franchises, where they're just flooding the market with like so many different star shows. And he thinks it's no coincidence that the reason they're doing it now is because the moon landing. It's like literally unfolding before our eyes. It's about 3 years away. Maybe arguably even 2. So can you imagine, like, that could be the reason why everything Star is so popular right now. Star Wars, Star Trek, and now Stargate back again. You know, if anyone hasn't heard, they're in legal battles, but they're almost done. And they're putting together a new Stargate, not only show, but apparently like a channel. It'll have multiple shows. So who knows how true that is? Could just be all rumors, but I'm thinking it's going to apex to that, right? Because who's going to watch Star Wars or who's going to watch Star Trek when you can turn on the TV and watch actual astronauts, like exploring the moon? And I don't know how NASA's going to do it this time. Do you think they'll do it live streamed? Like I was thinking in the olden days, like what was it, the 60s or whatever, when they went to the moon. They did it live streaming, right? So I was like, fuck, if they could live stream it back then. Wouldn't it be weird? We can just get home from work, turn on the TV, and watch live streaming of astronauts exploring the moon. Be like, what the fuck, right? That's going to be a weird life. We're only a couple years away. That's where I keep thinking about the golden age, man. I'm like, our society is really coming to that turning point where everything's about to like go really weird. Or it could be for the better. Let's hope. Not that everything's normal right now. Now, I don't know. I'm going to be hooked on NASA again. Like, I've been down in the dumps about NASA for a long time. And someone showed me. They actually showed some video of one of the clips on the mission to Mars. So I was making fun of NASA that they'll never show video again. But they actually did. They finally showed some video. So you got to give them credit for that. No, someone was telling me that oddly enough on this latest mission, the only video camera they have was for the descent stage. So they can't show any video when they're actually on the surface, but at least some video at some point in the mission is better than none. Yeah, and if I had to guess, not to jinx it or anything, but there's probably going to be some sort of setbacks in the mission. Like the last moon mission didn't go by without anyone dying. The Russians that tried to do it, they had multiple casualties. And the US, they also had casualties too. So sadly enough, I doubt this mission is going to be all peaches. It's definitely going to be some tragedy. And I haven't really seen any action from NASA in a long time. Like, I've gotten so bored of all their probes on Mars. It'll be wild to actually see a manned mission, even if it's women going. Who knows? They could hire, like, the hottest babe astronauts ever, right? Maybe that's NASA's plan to get more people into watching it. Like, man, no one wants to watch these old nerds go. Let's send some fucking swimsuit models. No, just I guess it wouldn't matter because they're wearing spacesuits, but I'm sure NASA, they'll find ways to spice it up a bit. Like how boring could they make building a moon base, right? And we got to start hearing some more phases of the plan too. They keep talking about like plan phases like 2 years ago. So I'm like, what are the new plan phases? It's been 2 years. What capsules are they going to drop off? They kept talking about they're going to land a capsule on the surface. So when the astronauts arrive, they already have a base ready. Imagine that's your mission, that one day you grew up and your job was to go to space, land on the moon, and be the first person to walk into the new base that robots built for us. Or drones or whatever it is. Robotic arms. Yeah, someone's actually going to have that as their job. That'll be fucked. And I think the best thing is like people that don't even go on the mission, at least we'll get a picture of what Earth looks like from the moon. Because when you think all the different selfies we take as a society, everyone's taking pictures at all these different monuments and all this shit, to think we don't even have a camera facing at the Earth. So that'll be neat. Land a base on the moon and shine a camera at the fucking Earth so we can actually see what the Earth looks like from a distance. Now, I think that'll be the end of the flat Earth debates, right? Like, once we actually have a camera set up on the fucking moon. Unless they can argue somehow that the camera's not even real, but that's one of the things that I'm really fantasizing about too. not only just like getting my own place and having some peace and quiet, some privacy again, but dear God, man, when you're up north, the stars are amazing, right? So maybe I could get into photography for stars, get a nice telescope. That'd be kind of a neat job. Wouldn't that be neat if I could move up north and be a star photographer? Nature photographer? I doubt it, but you never know. Could be worth a try. Could get lucky, get a few really good pictures, end up in a movie somewhere or a commercial. Holy shit, we're gonna win another battle. No, that's what's kind of making me nervous. One of my happiest days of my life was camping on Mount Keminus and seeing the Milky Way for the first time. And it was kind of made me sad all these years at never being able to go back again to see that. So that'll be kind of nice. I don't know what it'll be like in a way because it's really been so long, I almost kind of forget it. Fuck yeah, that was like 2012, for God's sakes. Yeah, so yeah, fuck man, 10 years ago. Son of a bitch. Yeah, how much has changed in 10 years? Not much. Now, the one thing that I'm really kind of looking forward to the moon base too is once they build a stadium on the moon. Because yeah, sure, bases are cool, like hotels will be cool on the moon. But people don't realize is once we build a stadium on the moon, that's when shit is really going to be balls to the wall. No, because the thing with the stadium on the moon is now all of a sudden you can do stuff without a spacesuit on, right? Because you'll be indoors in a stadium. So what they said, one of the things with low gravity on the moon is people could just put wings on. So yeah, you could strap some wings to your arms and start flapping. And they said that it's so weird that gravity's so low on the moon that if people put on wings and flap, they can actually fly. So wouldn't it be weird to be in a stadium, just put on some wings and fly around? I don't know how true that is, but I just read about it in a book once, but you never know. It sounds somewhat legitimate. What I don't get either, too, is they kept talking about gravity being so low on the moon. So what happens if you fall off a cliff? Like, say an astronaut was, like, jumping around and he accidentally jumped off a cliff. If he fell, like, 50 stories to the ground, would it be okay because there's no gravity? Or less? He would just be like, ooh, that was close. Would that be trippy as hell? Jump off a cliff and you're okay? It's like, sorry guys, I gotta climb back up. Yeah, you'd have to climb back up before your oxygen ran out. That'd be the challenge. Yeah, I guess there is the chance that we'll get to the moon and all of a sudden it'll just be like nothing will happen, right? We'll get there and there'll be like no mystery. It'll just be like empty. There's nothing. There's no minerals, no change to our society. The base will accomplish nothing. But I doubt that. Yeah, if NASA can find a way to make the moon exploration a failure, they'll find it. That's the thing too. That moon mission, it could push us to develop new technologies, right? We could find nothing, but then we'll just like develop some super technology. So all of a sudden we can build bases on Mars, no problem. So that's what people don't realize. Everyone's like, oh, let's build bases on Mars. Let's build bases on Mars. I'm like, fuck guys, we haven't even built a base on the moon yet. You gotta do baby steps, right? Can't start building fucking bases on something that far away. Well, I guess you could, but it'd seem weird, right? It's like trying to learn how to read before you even know the alphabet. So I think that's where we're lucky, is even if the moon is really boring, at least we'll develop new technology. We'll get a space station around the moon. We'll get a base on the moon. And then obviously from there we can build a space station around Mars. Yeah, if I had to guess, that's how it'll go. Space station around the moon, then base on the moon, then space station around Mars, then the base on Mars. There's no way they're going to do base first. Well, who knows? That might actually make building the space station easier. If you had a base on the planet with actual robots sending up supplies or relaying signals. And wouldn't it be weird too if all of a sudden we colonize the moon and Mars, and then that's when aliens are like, all right, you guys have built a base now. That's enough to make contact. That could be what they're waiting for, right? Like Star Trek, they had to wait to a certain point where they're allowed to make contact. I think that's what the point was once the civilization had built bases on other planets, that's when the aliens were allowed to make contact. So that could be it. So that'd be a weird thing, right? Like if all of a sudden we go to the moon, build a base, aliens come, make contact, then they give us all their medical technology. So it's like everyone's like, oh shit, now we can live to be like thousands of years old. And now we can build bases on other planets and the aliens are helping us. That'd be fucked. And then maybe we could go to war with the aliens. Yeah, we're just tearing these levels. Holy fuck, another 10 purples. See, that's why I think we sometimes get so upset about all the fighting on Earth. We're probably going to have some really good fights in the future. If we think the fights between like migration borders here on Earth is intense, wait till we're fighting over which people own different planets and shit. That should be where the good shit's at. That's when CNN will have some really good content. The battles between the miners on the moon. I could totally see the US doing that. They'll build a prison colony on Mars. So if you get like sentenced to life in prison, you have to go to Mars and be a miner. But that'll probably persuade some people to be like, fuck man, should I really go to Mars if that's where they send the criminals? Yeah, that'd be like a disaster, eh? That's what they'll make a movie about in the future. Some guy gets framed for a crime that he didn't commit, and then his punishment is he's sent to Mars to be a miner. So there'll be his adventure about getting framed for a crime, what it's like to get banished to another planet. That'd be a pretty good movie. Oh, we made it to the Hitler boss. I should have known. He was going to take us down. Holy fuck, he was the first boss too. Bring in Suzo. If Suzo doesn't tear him a new one, who will, right? Now I'm going to try to get some more guests on the show to talk about space stuff. God, I can hardly wait till we get our moon mission going. There we go. Suzo hit him hard there. Really, if we can just kill the minions and be facing just Hitler, then we got an okay chance. It's when all of his minions are hitting us. Oh, there goes Alice. We're fucked. Not in a good way. There we go. Another Hitler down. Or a Bin Laden. I don't know, man. This battle's going to be pretty intense. I think we've actually met a match where we're going to have trouble progressing. It's about time. We fucking plowed back how many matches in a row there. They still don't have the coming soon finished yet. Reminds me of Entropia. They take forever to get shit done too. Holy fuck, we didn't even sweep that. Oh, it's after 8, that's why. Shit, we played right into the next round. I was thinking we finally finished everything, and just as we did, everything's unlocked again. Shit, I gotta stop vaping so much. I think I vaped like, I don't know, 2 or 3 bowls, maybe 6. Now, if anyone's wondering, my bowls actually don't hold much weed. It's only a 0.1 or 2 in each one. So if the YouTube critics are wondering if I'm consuming excessive amounts, no. Very moderate amounts. So one thing that sucks about this vaporizer, can't smoke cigarettes if you use it. If you do, it'll hurt your lungs bad. So that's one reason it actually helps me quit smoking, is I can't stand not vaporizing. So if I want to vaporize, I really can't be smoking cigarettes. No, over the past week or two when I was trying to quit smoking weed there, I did have a smoke. And man, it hurt my lungs bad. I was surprised how bad. I was like, holy, I really need to quit vaping so much. Oh yeah, let's give everyone an update on the Hunger Games. We got Kirakoma versus Mickey Mouse. Psychosis versus Takahan. Demir versus Unimaginable, and User 420 versus Nash. So who did I bet on? I either bet on See You Later or I bet on Kirakoma. Can't remember which one. Hopefully Kirakoma. Now, if you had to guess who's going to get into the finals, it's probably going to be, what is it? See You Later versus Kirakoma. That's usually how it always breaks down. But we'll see by the end. As you can see, we're getting very close to the actual reward, so we can buy a new one. But I might just go the purple potion route, because I don't know if anyone put in the chat how much we need. But if we need a whole bunch of purple potions, maybe this isn't the worst route to do it. Some people might argue and be like, oh God, don't spend 2,000 and get just 100 of these. So we'll see. Maybe we'll spend it there, maybe we won't. Oh, speaking of spending. Just gonna check, see how much we got. So we're halfway on that one. Oh yeah, we got enough. So that's our goal, is we're just going to keep trying to get these Sunstar heroes. Yeah, we still have a whole bunch to get. But we got what? 1, 2, 3. So that's, we need 4. We need 8. So once we're at 4, we're almost we'll be halfway at 4. So yeah, I can hardly wait. Once we make it. I know, it feels like we just beat all these battles, but now they're back. Yeah, I know, I'm terrified of a good anal probing. I was supposed to go for that colonoscopy, and I did everything I could to try to avoid going. And I even changed my diet enough that I stopped the blood. I was like, oh, thank God. Turned out it was just hemorrhoids. Who would have thought that hemorrhoids could be that bad of a problem? That's why when you get older, right, you start learning about different health issues that you never dreamed possible. Joy. Joy. Yeah, you know what? I think if I finished my garage up north, we would officially call it the Lelanders studio. Like, finish a garage, right? If it was hooked up and it had a computer and like an actual like recording studio. Wow, that'd be something. So maybe I shouldn't get so down in the dumps and never having anything to save money up for. Save up for souping up Lelanders studio. Make it a job one day. Or profitable enough that I could do it for a living. Yeah, then I'd have to decide, would I bring my good computer to the garage up north or bring the shitty computer, well, the older computer. Yeah, I probably would bring the older one just for a few years to see how it went. Not that I bring my good one and it gets trashed right away. Yeah, that'd be wild, actually finish a recording studio. I think the biggest thing that would make me happy about getting that garage finished too is a lot of times I get stressed out that I'm always staying at someone else's place. So it's like if all something bad has to happen is for me to be looking for another place to stay, because everywhere I'm staying is never really mine. So that would be nice to actually have a backup plan. Have a garage that, hey, if worst came to worst, if I get kicked out of everywhere, at least I finally have a place that I could say, hey, at least I'm not totally screwed. That would be nice. No, luckily I'm fortunate that I have lots of friends and family in one city where I can really just go from one place to another if shit hit the fan, but still, it's nice to have a little bit of self-reliance. Not be couch surfing forever. Yeah, that's why I think some people think it's a little bit excessive for me to build a 2-story garage. But I'm thinking, man, if I'm going to go to the all-out extent of building a garage, you really got to add in a little bit of extra floor space. Especially being able to double the floor space. Because, man, I'm going to need all the space I can get. I've lived in a small apartment before, and it's tough. I know some people do those tiny houses, but I could never manage that. I need more space than that. I've got too much stuff for a tiny house. Not to say that I have a lot of stuff, but still, no way I could fit it in 100 square feet. And who knows, maybe I will fail at fixing the garage and I'll have to make do with the 1-story one. We'll see what happens. Now I should make that as the worst case scenario backup plan, is if I can't get anyone to help build the new garage, We will just have to repair the old one. At least I'm capable of that, if all else fail. I really don't have much more time to get ready. That's what I was thinking. It was so funny that I'm trying to diet and lose weight. I'm like, that's kind of dumb, because really I'm going up north soon. And when I'm gone, I'm not going to be eating much, pretty much the entire time, so. Especially with food prices skyrocketing, it's like, God, if I'm a little bit heavier when I leave, it's gonna keep me going a little bit longer. Let's hope. Bet you by the time I come back, if I get the garage finished, especially if I was gone for a couple months, I'll probably lose 30 pounds. No, I was looking at the different stores by my place up north. There's a lot of good stores, actually. When I was looking at the closest shopping district, there's a nice Walmart, but with the M&M meat shop right across the street from the Walmart. If anyone's heard of M&M meats, they're good. It's definitely not good for vegans, but if you like meat, yeah, you'll love M&M meat shop. And they're not endorsements or anything. Not a paid endorsement. They basically are like a butcher shop that has like everything you could want. And I got a corner store that's relatively close, so I was thinking, I think for biking close, it's like 10-15 minute bike, so it's not too bad. And it has a post office, I like that. The only thing I'm worried is if you live up north, like say Kirkland Lake or something, do you have to still pay more for shipping? Like shipping's probably a lot worse, right? If you buy something from Amazon or eBay, they'll still ship it there, but it probably costs more, right? That's one thing I was thinking, like, fuck man, if I move up north and all of a sudden there's bad shipping costs, hopefully you can still get it shipped there. Oh fuck, how's my team almost dead? Oh yeah, the liquor store, 10-minute bike ride from my place. That was the nice one. When I seen how close the liquor store was, I was like, you know what? That is good. Yeah, that'll be the real goal. Get the garage set up, get a washroom, and get some booze. And a nice balcony so that I can look out over the stars. Oh man. I'll be like living like a king. And that scares me. If I got something that nice, it's got to be a horrible price to pay. Now I checked into the price of how much it is to run a bathroom to my house, like tap into the house's plumbing, and they said it's about 10 grand. Or no, it was 2 to 10 grand. So I'm like, man, if it's only 2 grand to tap into the plumbing, maybe I'll just do that. Fix up the garage, tap into the house's plumbing. It'll be weird. The garage will basically be the house by the time I'm done renovating it. It's kind of a shame that I wasn't doing this renovation, like say when I first got the property in 2017, but I had to re-save up all the money after because I was tapped out buying the property. That would be a dream come true if I could finish the garage and finish enough with enough money left over that I could actually stay there. Because I bet you any money that's what'll probably happen. If I do have enough money to finish it, I won't be able to afford to stay there. We'll see. You never know, like if I did a video vlog series about what it's like to move up north, set up a video game recording studio for a show up north in the middle of nowhere, near Quebec, starting to explore French video game stuff. But anyways, set that up. Who knows, maybe that channel would take off to the point where I could stay there. That'd be weird. It's a distant possibility, but ideally what I'd like to do is stay in the winter, or in the summer, and in the winter come back to the city to just make lots of money shoveling, and then go back for the summer. Ah, fuck, we were on our way to the gold chest and I let our team die. Son of a whore. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Oh well, live and learn. Lots of living, not much learning. Alright, let's try this. We actually got him down a bit. Who knows? There's no way we're beating the team after this, but... Can't believe even Alice died. What a fuck, eh? Jesus, I was gonna say, how long is it gonna take Monk to charge up? He'll be dead before he even goes. Oh, he is dead. Alright, so it's gonna take a miracle to beat that one. Yeah, it's I keep thinking to myself, it's so stressful to go up north, see my garage, meet the guy who's living in it. But that whole stressful part of the situation might actually be the turning point. Could be enough to get me some enough viewers on my channel to turn the channel around, bring in more revenue. The hardship will be what I needed all along. Or I'll film it all and no one will watch it and won't matter anyways. But now, most of my vlog series, if I had to guess, get anywhere between 100 to 200 views. So it's not like I really have a high bar to beat. Hopefully we can beat that. No, I do have a few with a few thousand. What was it, 5,000 on the one? So, yeah. If we could get those kind of numbers. Wow. Now, I've watched the videos about YouTubers seeing their channels go from nothing to something, and it does seem possible. You know, that could be one of the hooks I could do for my show up north. Not only do video gaming, but do the gold prospecting. Where I'll go on adventures and hiking trails, picking up nice rocks that I like. Ones that look like they have stuff in them. Bring them back, crush them. Definitely have to be careful you don't steal rocks, because yeah, there's definitely places you can't get rocks from. Not allowed, but some you can. My favorite for picking up nice rocks up north is just to be able to look at the road tailings. Because a lot of times they'll put fresh road tailings and no one's even looked at it. So if you walk along the side of the highways for like days on end, like I did a few times, man, you find a lot of really nice rocks in the road tailings. And you could walk up and down those roads for months and you'd never find it all. What I mean by nice chunks is a lot of it's even fool's gold. So there is little trace amounts of gold. I wouldn't be surprised if some of it's actually mining tailings. Stuff that they thought had little bits of gold but not enough that they care, so they just dump it out. Yeah, I don't think I would ever get enough gold that I would want to like sell the gold, but just to collect some gold, that'd be kind of neat. Collect gold dust. Man, that'd be sweet. Yeah, I think gold mining stuff used to be a lot more popular back in the day, but I'm pretty sure if you did a gold show and you titled it something like Gold Mining in Canada, people would be like, what? In Canada? Because, yeah, for some reason, gold mining's usually always Alaska or something, right? Or anytime you watch shows about it. Maybe there's a few Canadian... Yeah, I've watched a few Canadian gold ones, but not that many. I guess we can do the arena next. Hey, did we get more of these? It looks like smoke is coming out of these, eh? Is that a good sign? If anyone knows how the hell this works, please enlighten us. Oh yeah, fuck man, I was thinking when George is on the show next, we gotta ask him how the hell this works. If anyone's on top of it, I bet you George is. Okay, I think I have to go to another planet. Oh, I guess it's the ones that I fought already or something, right? If I go to that one, I fought it already. This one I haven't. This one, no. This one we have. Looks like a better challenge this time. No, it feels like we're doing an epic stream tonight. Holy shit, over 2 hours already. I was gonna say, even with the beer, I can still feel my voice going. I guess that's one thing when it comes to being a podcaster. You really got to get a good mic so that you don't have to yell the whole time. Because if you're yelling the whole time, it definitely wears on you. I think that's the worst part of my voice, is I really have to try hard to speak clearly or just yell. Now you can tell what I usually do. Yeah, so I guess I'll keep everyone up to date and let everyone know how the estimates go for my place up north. I'm not going to say we're going to hold a fundraiser to raise money to fix my garage, because I really don't think under YouTube terms of service we're even allowed to do that. But we'll see. What is going on? So you can fight ships or fight planets? I don't get it. Base. Space. Alright, so George is still here, thank God. He says you can attack the ships going to the left. Alright, so put it on space or base? I guess he means go to this one and then go to the ships to the left. Oh, so here George is explaining the resource part of it. He says when they're heading to the right, the ship is on its way to a planet and hasn't gotten any resources. The ships aiming to the left are returning to their base with the resources. Alright, so it kind of reminds me of a game of capture the flag. You have to go get the flag and bring it back or something, right? You're heading to the ship. Resources. Alright, so ships on the left and the right. I can't even move these anymore. So I guess I go here. Is this ships left and right? Oh, here we are, left and right. So this one has a shield. Maybe this is the one we're supposed to attack. It's Fezmeister, so he's probably good, right? Win the battle to increase the speed. Win the battle to plunder the resources. Oh, so we should go for the resources, George is saying. Win the battle to plunder the resources. Yeah, don't go on Fez. Alright, so we won't attack Fez. So we get to choose between Cookie Run or Distorter Text. Alright, so which do we want between Cookie or Distorter? One is 205 and the other is just Distort X. So Distort X looks a lot harder. Let's try working our way up. Oh God, that's not working our way up. Oh man, we can't win against either of these, right? There's no way. That battle, sure. But these ones, no way. We're going to get slaughtered. So now what? If we can't win any of them. Oh, you can't even attack them because they got a shield. So what do? Pick give up? There's no way we're going to win those battles. Like, look at that. 4-star Alice? Like, you gotta be kidding me. There's no way in hell we're gonna win that battle. Yeah, that shield makes it so you can't attack. Yeah, I think I got that part now. Alright, George says just give up and re-enter the battles. Oh, thank you, George. Yeah, that worked. I think we can beat Lee's better. When I hear Lee, it sounds like a bit of weakness. No, I'm just kidding. Lelanders. Oh, he has the shield on. Fuck. Yeah, we're not beating that one either. That's an impossible battle as well. Lady Gypsy, yeah. Oh, here we go. We can plunder this lady. I know that doesn't sound good, but... Alright, so George saved the day. We figured out how to search battles and find ones that are actually competitive. That was close. I almost went to a battle because I thought there was nothing else we could do. Oh yeah, if Dan Davis is wondering if we're going to do some Entropia stream soon, I hope. I've really taken quite a break from Entropia. I was supposed to play it all winter, never did. I don't know, for me it's been hard to get back into Entropia. It is really my favorite game, but I've really had so little time for gaming in general. I'm really just playing one game a day, and that's Clone Evolution. I know it's weird because a lot of times I always did gaming every day. It's so weird to like not play games for big chunks of the week. But I've reached that point in my life where I really have limited time. Every time I hear someone say they're bored, I'm like, oh God, you're lucky. I got a list of so many things I want to finish. Yeah, it is kind of weird to think if I did move up north. I've lived in the same area my whole life. Like literally the same block. So it'd be the first time in my life I'm not in the same block every day. What a drastic change that would be. I bet you I would get homesick like really bad. Because I've had homesickness before when I try leaving, so I'm like, oh man. Moving 600 kilometers away. Although I have to say, when I first got my first apartment, I never did get homesick. I loved that apartment so much. So who knows, maybe if I build my own garage, I won't get homesick because I'll just be in love with the garage. That'd be sweet. Yeah, so that's what I'll probably do this year if I can finish the garage, bring up a basic amount of furniture, but don't go crazy bringing up like all my best stuff yet, because I'll still have to renovate, putting insulation, putting in a washroom. I have to say though, like say hypothetically next year, I try to do the insulation and plumbing and finish a washroom, then that's the point where it's like, oh, now you could actually stay year-round. Then once I could stay year-round, then I would be tempted to, hey, let's start moving some of my better stuff. Bring my better recording studio to the actual place up north. Make the backup studio here. Excuse me. Man, I'm gonna have to try something better for this shirt. It's my favorite shirt. As you can tell, it's wrinkled really bad. I was hoping washing it a few times would help, but still no luck. Like, I might have to break down and fucking iron it. Yeah, I guess what happens when you put your clothes in storage for like 10 years. Yeah, that'd be the weird part. If I had my garage finished up north and I could move all my stuff, like hypothetically next year with the plumbing and insulation, a lot of my stuff I haven't seen since I moved from my apartment, because I'm like, oh, I moved from my apartment, I'll put everything in storage till I get a new apartment. And it's literally been in storage for like 10 years. So yeah, hopefully that'd be weird. Actually move everything and be like, all right, the new apartment, finally. Apartment/recording studio. No, one of my favorite shows when I was growing up was the Highlander TV show. I like the Highlander movie a little bit, but I like the TV show a lot better. Even the spin-off show, the Raven show, it wasn't that bad either. But one of the things I liked about that Highlander guy is he always lived in these weird places. Sometimes he would live in like a houseboat. Other times he would live in like a warehouse or like a dojo. So I was thinking that'd be kind of neat to like live in a garage, right? So hopefully I don't get beheaded. Alright, so another victory. Sweet. Oh, we got the resources too. How many of these battles can you do? Does it just go forever, or is it a certain amount per day? Maybe there's like tokens that we're using up if we battle these. Oh, fuck. Not beating that one. Satan. Oh, God. We're not defeating Satan. Damn, that's almost. Oh, George says there's only a certain amount that you're allowed to do per day. Or is it per day or per ever? Hopefully just per day. Oh, looks like my ship is pretty damaged. Is that what it is, right? Oh, yeah, plunder coins, and you can buy them for 100 gems or so. Oh, I think that's what I bought up here before, wasn't it? These? You can buy the plunder points. Ah, there it is. Yeah, that's what George is talking about. So 100? I think that's almost worth it, right? And the plunder points recharge a certain amount each day, or do you always have to pay? Here we go. Where are we going? Westward, ho. You know, one thing I'm going to have to do before I go on these wild adventures and these camping trips, I'm going to have to set up my camping gear in my backyard and try camping a few nights just to make sure I can do it and make sure everything works. And one of the things that I geared up for is I used to sleep on a really soft bed. Like I'm talking like layers and layers of sponge. It was like laying on air. But recently I switched over to a much harder mattress and I adapted to it. So I'm hoping that when I go on these camping trips that I can actually lay on an air mattress. Because I was having issues with that. I actually couldn't sleep on an air mattress. And if I can't, then I'll just have to lay leaves on the ground and then put the tent on top of that. So at least there's some cushion. Now I even tried multiple different kinds of air mattresses. Can never find one that would actually work without actually getting really sore from trying to sleep. Oh, so George says once you're done plundering, that's when you activate your shield so people don't destroy you. Oh, so that's why my ship's so destroyed. I never put up the shields. I don't know if anyone likes these ship battles or they dislike them. I'm kind of neutral on them so far. I haven't really formed much of an opinion yet. As far as I can tell, it's just a lot more action and not really any rewards that I can use. If anyone sees some good rewards that I'm missing, maybe they want to point them out. Yeah, so we really dodged the bullet there. Can you imagine if I would have invested in one of those condos in Mexico? All of a sudden the government shut down the airlines. Whew, that was a close call. Yeah, something about just fleeing Canada and living on the beach in Mexico. It seemed too easy, right? There's no way that was what my life was supposed to be. I don't know if anyone would even tune in to that show, right? Oh, great. Another YouTuber living on the beaches in Cancun. Is that my ship? No, that's my ship, right? Oh, we're at 9 and 10. That's not so bad. Fuck, we crashed again. Yeah, I guess we should wrap it up because we're near the 3-hour mark. But yeah, we'll play the game again tomorrow. And thanks a million, George, for the super chat. Let's give a shout out to everyone else. Not that money's all that matters. It helps. Steadfast, Augusto, Pasco, Basilio, Fatty Kuka, Augusto, Steadfast, Bloopers, and George with the big super chat. Sorry if I forgot to read everyone's messages. George, Steadfast, I get carried away. Dan Davis, George, Steadfast. All right, let's give everyone a big round of applause before I forget. All right, so yeah, I guess the game's still loading, but we'll go to the fire screen. All right, if you happen to get any of these new Aerospace Center fragments in your vaporizer and it tastes like shit, give the show a dislike. But if it doesn't happen, you can help with a like and a share. Really appreciate it. Oh yeah, and if you can watch the VR videos and give a quick review, even if you dislike or just got some pointers how to improve it. One pointer I can think, if anyone wants a clue of what they can put, is night video. Maybe less night video, because yeah, that was really bad, the night video. We'll try to minimize that in the future. And we'll make the video a little bit shorter, because I think, yeah, over an hour, that's pushing it. So yeah, maybe from there, if anyone else has got any pointers, that'd be really great. And what else is there? I think that's everything for today. So thanks again for watching. What else is there? I think we did everything, did we? Oh, no, we didn't. Let's try this next. No, that's not what I wanted. All right, we'll just wrap it up. All right, so thanks, everyone. Have a good night. See you later. Bye for now. It's been a while since I've been doing shows. I'm pressing all the wrong buttons. That's what she said. See you later. Later. Yeah, good luck in the game. Hopefully everyone can destroy the Aerospace Center. Oh yeah, I gotta put the shield up. Thanks, George. I'll try that. Later.